Glamour at the pool. Be glamorous at your next pool party. Make a pool caftan. I'll show you how. So I'm going to the TWA hotel at JFK Airport, and they have a pool on the runway. On the JetBlue runway at Terminal 8, there's this long, skinny pool. It's heated, and it's right there. And you get in the pool, and you watch the airplanes take off and land. So the TWA hotel is all 60s themed, and I love to dress up in a theme when I'm going somewhere. So I thought, what am I going to wear over the pool? What did they wear in the 60s?
The 60s are over, Lila.
From all the TV shows I've seen, it was, in the 60s and 70s, they had caftans over their bathing suits, walking through the chairs in their caftans. So I have this fabric right here. It's a silk crepe de chine, and it's so pretty. It's got all the crazy colors and fishes. I don't think it's a vintage 60s, but it's probably been around since the 80s. But I don't know, actually. But I thought this would be perfect for the TWA pool. And I made a caftan years ago. This one is all closed up. I'm picturing this opened, and it's just basically a square with a little bit of a shoulder slope, a V-neck in the front, simple in the back, and I put pom-poms, like where the arm goes here, and then you close it up a little bit, and then you have a side slit right here. And this one's a short one. I upcycled this from a maternity dress. I did a video on it about 5 years ago, so it's out there. And I have a pattern. I have to find it. It's just I think I did it out of a muslin with the front neck was kind of straight, and then the back. And then just what I'll do on this one is open it up so that it floats open, and put some pom-poms on it. I'll get some white pom-poms to go with this, and this should be a lot of fun. Now I have to go find the pattern and get started on this. I will also try to trace out the pattern for you and just kind of trace it out. It'll be like this size here, and you can just tape that together. It'll be one size, and I'll do the front to save on paper for you printing it out. I'll put a V-neck on the front and a scoop of the back on for the back, and then I could also just make it a 3/4 length, and then you can add length to it, make it simple so you don't have to tape all that paper together, right? I know how to make patterns, all that, but I'm not in the pattern business. I think there's a lot of patterns out there, and I think we have a multiple of choices. So I just wanted to give you a simple pattern. You can trace it off, you can print it out, tape it, have a quick pattern for the caftan, and make one yourself. I'll show you how. So pretty, all the fishes in here. I'm just going to cut this one right now. Shoulder line. Cut this right off. Cut this. I want the front and the back to be the same. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here and cut out the neckline right here. A little bit past there. Okay, there's my center front. I'm ready to go. All right, to get the caftan started, let's see, where was I? I have the back, right sides up right here. Make sure it's the right side, yeah. And then I have the front, which has more of a V-neck, this way, right sides together, yep. I'll just be sewing the shoulders first, and I'll be putting on like a binding tape. It's a real soft binding tape to kind of keep the shoulder seams a little more stable. I'm going to pin these together. I'm going to use silk pins. Pin them together at the shoulder seams that. Pins there. Raw edges even. And then I need to sew a 5/8 inch seam here. I'm going to sew that right in the middle, like that at 5/8. So I'm just going to adjust it as I'm going on the sewing machine. So I'll sew that right there. Right to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew this 5/8 inch down, raw edges together. I'm going to adjust this as I'm sewing. All right, these turned out great. Right in the middle, gives it a little more stability like that. I have a video on how to sew shoulder seams. So I'll put a card up here and you can see a little bit more about that. So now all I got to do is press the seams open right here. So that pressed together really well. It's a nice flat seam. It's got stability in it and it looks great. Don't even see the tape in there. It's right in there. Looks great. So now the next thing I need to do is a lot of pressing. This is just going to be a straight hem all along the front, and then the whole side is going to be a straight hem, and then I'll be adding the pom-poms there. So I'm actually just going to press this whole thing up, then add the pom-poms. So I think what I'll do before I add pom-poms is going to be a little easier to just go ahead and get this whole front neck edge and everything all pressed and then stitched. Just a kind of I think I'll do like a 1 inch under and then a tuck and then go like that, and then have a nice edge to just do a hem along the center front and around the center of the back. All right, have the front hem done. Came out really good, pretty simple like that. Just pressing it, letting it cool so it gets a strong crease. I have the whole front done. Now I gotta press up the sides and get them ready to put the pom-poms on.
With pom-poms? You serious?
All right, now to get the pom-poms on the whole side. I was just going to do once and go over it, but this trim's not enough to cover that. So I think I'm just gonna have to do it just like I did the other part. Just press it 1 inch and then 1 inch under all along the whole armhole edges, and then all the way down to the hem. Just tuck it under, let it cool. Form a strong crease, that will help it sew together really easy. So I got 1 inch over here. Just gonna tuck it under 50-50. Like that. Press it. Work in segments like that, let it cool. Then it has a nice sharp crease, and then you just sew along there. Take a little extra time to prep it. It really helps to make it nice, smooth, and easier to sew. This is gonna go here. I'm gonna start the pom-poms right there. Just sew it right there on the edge, like that. Pin it to get it started, and then I'll take the pom-poms to the machine and just sew a straight stitch right through there. I should put a white bobbin in there. That might help so that doesn't show through there. And that's the pom-poms right there. Okay, to the machine. So this also has 2 yards on it. I think I needed 3 yards, so I actually am going to have to add another as I go, so just blend it in there to the machine. Those breaking points are hard. Cool. Cute. This is how it's looking. I have this pinned on the one side. So cute. This is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna put an elastic back here, just like real subtle, and a little bit here, so it's kind of has a little waist to it. I think I was gonna do one here and have a little drawstring so I could tie it right there. But yeah, this is so fun. I can't wait to wear this. Do you just love fashion sewing and want to share in all the fun with others? Well, come to our fashion sewing retreat. every spring and fall in Lake Norman, North Carolina. Check out campsosocial.com. Have all the pom-poms on. And now what I need to do is bring the two sides together and just sew it in this little area here. So this is the armhole right there, and then I start it here and end it here, so it's just like at the waist midriff area, and then this is the side slits right here. So it's just a little seam right on top of that seam right there to lock that seam in there. I'll do that on both sides, and then I'm going to try and see how I can put in a waist casing to put a drawstring in to kind of cinch it in a little bit, give it some shape. All right, have my armhole created. The side seam, I just sewed those two together right on top of that stitch. Have my side slit. And then I pressed up the hem 2 inches, and then I folded it under another inch to give it some weight to it. And now all I need to do is sew on the top edge there. So that's pretty simple. Just now I want to add a casing to the inside of the caftan. So I just cut a strip, about 2 inches of the fabric I have left. I just tear it and get a really straight edge on there. Then I'm going to press up 1/2 inch on both sides and have one whole strip. I actually might have to do 2 of them, sew them together, and then find the center where the waist was. I put some safety pins on the caftan and sew this to the inside, and then I'm going to put a drawstring through that, have a little bit of a cinched waist in there so it doesn't look so square, and have the wrong side up. And I had some marks here, right here, some little black marks where my waist was. Took a little time to get that evened out. It's a little hard. This is a long one, so I'm going to be pinning this. I got my casing pressed in 1/2 inch right here, and I'm going to pin this all right here and just have the casing come through this little part here. So now I need to pin this right on that center line. There's my marks, and I'll just pin it right down there, and then I'll stitch it close to the edge right here. All right, have my casing pinned on right here. I'm just gonna cut off this much right there because sometimes this will stretch or something like that. So when I get close to the end, then I'll fold it under and then I'll be pressing it right there. I'll just take these to the sewing machine. So this is all of that in there. This is gonna be a little tricky. I'm gonna have to stop sewing here, pick it up, and start again because there's all those little balls under there that won't allow me to go all the way through because then I'll sew on them. But it'll be good, and if it has a couple stitches not here, the casing will still work. I think I'm going to try this on backwards, make sure this band is in my waist area just before I sew it, because if I sew it, I have to take it all apart. So try that on, then I'm going to sew close to the edges, or not too close actually, because the trim I have for the casing, the trim I'm going to use is this cute little elastic with the little ruffly things. I thought that would be kind of fun. What I might do is just kind of anchor it down a little bit so that it just grips a little bit, and then use the rest of it as a tie. And I found that out as a ribbon. It's got 2 yards. I found it at Hobby Lobby. I love that stuff. All right, try this on backwards, and then I'm going to sew that. Have the binding stitched on here. I have to cut the threads where I stopped and started it right here. That actually went pretty easy. Just kind of stopped it. I reversed it so that I locked the stitch down, and then I picked the presser foot up and over. I sewed it all on the back side so it looked fine here. I just picked it over and moved the little pom-poms out of the way, and then so it looks like that on the back. So it just stops right there. That turned out good. I didn't get anything caught. So now I need to put my pretty elastic through. So then I marked 18 inches here where it's going to stick out of the casing on each side, so I know kind of right about where it should be. I'm going to use a safety pin to get it through and just bring it through the casing right through here, like that. And just draw it all the way through. See how this turns out. Okay, elastic's in through here. Make sure, got a lot of ways to go here. Let's bring it through. So I got a yard in the inside and then a yard on the outside, which is a 1/2 inch on each side. Here's the pin. This elastic's pretty delicate, so I'm gonna find my little line. Where it goes, bringing threads through it. Bring it through. Okay, elastic almost there. Stop it right about there. I'll just kind of sew right over that, stop it there, and then this will be like the tail. Right there. I'll try this on before I lock that stitch down. All right, I tried it on and I don't like the elastic going all the way through here. It just doesn't look right. So I think I like the elastic to go, like this is the center, this is the front, this is the center front. I'm gonna have the elastic just pucker up to about here, so I'm gonna stitch it right there. And I think I'll take this band off from there. Or I could leave it on, but I cut that elastic out of there. I just like it a little bit flatter. Or I could even leave the elastic in there to put some weight on it. I could try that first. I like the elastic in the back, just real subtle, like that. I think it's twisted in here, yeah, right there. I have to get it untwisted. Then I did the other side, just a little bit of pucker right here. So I'll just make a stitch there, and then I'll cut this elastic out of here. And I like it better that way because it seemed to like just hang better there. It had a little too much puckery, and then it made my front, this one, look funny. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then this is done. All right, got it untwisted, I hope. Won't really know if it's untwisted, but oh, it might be twisted. Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's twisted. That's all right. It's soft, it's going like that. You can't see it much. I'm not sure, but oh, it's such a drag. That was hard. So I have it all gathered in the back and then just 1/4 of the front, and then this band would be in here. I'm just gonna cut it like right here because that'll give it some weight, and then also just cut it here because I don't like it showing. It didn't look so pretty showing. It looked like a tie. So I'm just gonna leave there so I have some weight in there. That'll help keep the front down. And if I don't like it, I can always just cut it all out. So I got my other end here. Make sure that part's not twisted. Right there, and then just pull it a little bit so it stays inside. There you go. And then, now it's done. All right, now to take this out to the pool and see how it feels. All right, out at the pool. Overlooking the runway. Ooh, a little windy out here. It's a little chilly, but that pool's warm, so we're going in. So that was the pool at the TWA hotel. The water was warm and toasty, but right up on the top, the wind was coming through, and we were like this. So we were like, up, ooh, get cold, and then back down. We were drinking cocktails in the pool. The bar was right off to the side. Spent probably 3 hours out there. We had a really great time, but it was a little chilly. It was in the 60s, so I actually wore my robe over the caftan. When we got outside, it felt a little chillier than 60 just because of the wind, I guess from the runway, right? I don't know. But we sat down and I took off everything and then jumped in the water. So I never really got a picture of me in the caftan, but I did the next morning. I put it on over my clothes so you can see it, but it was just too chilly to be out of it. I just couldn't do it. So then when I got home from my trip, we went out on the lake and I was wearing it, and my niece loved it. She loves caftans. She wears a lot of flowy fabrics, a lot of flowy pants and all, and she's like, I just love that. So then I thought, who better to wear this than Sarah?
That's cute. That looks good on you. Sweet. Oh my God, so 60s.
So I gave her the caftan, and it's perfect for her because she loves the flowy fabrics. She often wears a lot of flowy pants and jackets and all, so it's perfect for her. And I always thought, I have more fabric, so I can always make another one. And bonus, went to Hobby Lobby, and they have pom-poms. It was 87 cents. Needed a couple of these. It's turquoise. Look how perfect this one is. So I'll make another one with turquoise pom-poms. I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a chance to make yourself a caftan. Pretty simple. Get some pom-poms for the fun. There's also so many other trims at the fabric stores too. But I know I'm going to be working on my second caftan. I love these turquoise pom-poms. It's going to be fun. You can make a short one, a long one, put it wherever you need to. So be glamorous at your next pool party. And I'll see you in the next video.